Hi, good evening all.
Hi Prem.
Good evening.
Uh, Hi. So today we are going to start on the second GraphQL implementation. Okay. So So yesterday actually I forgot to share you that code. Actually we were just updating that on the LMS. So maybe I can directly share you on your mail IDs, okay, so that you can get. I mean, sometimes it takes for our side to update the content on the LMS. So, but today by EOD, I'll share you directly on your mail so that I mean you can whatever is covered you can practice on. Okay, I mean video I'll share you the link and the code I'll directly share you the project code and by watching the videos you can create the similar kind of Sitecore structure in the CMS. Okay, so let me share my screen and we'll start the second type of GraphQL implementation. Okay, so give me a second. So I have shared my screen. So let me know if you any of one are not able to see my screen. So yesterday, let me go through that the note we did for the first step of GraphQL implementation. Okay, so we'll today we'll start with the second type of GraphQL implementation. Okay, so if I tell you like what the difference is, I mean there is only one difference. Like it will be this. I mean the whole process is same. Only the GraphQL query we are putting into the JSON rendering that we are going to put inside the in our code. That GraphQL query we are going to put inside the code. In okay, so code means it will fetch that like a get static props. Okay, so that will be a server side prop because we can use the get static props also. I mean, for now, for this to fetch the API, we are going to use the get server side props. Okay, because we are fetching the data from the server. This is how we can understand for now. Okay, but still we can use the get server side get static props. Let me show you the code structure that we are going to do. I was just trying that. Okay. Uh, so it's let me just first explain you about the code, so that you can understand it Okay, so now if I go back to the process, like what we did is we created the template. Okay, we created the JSON rendering, and we assign the JSON rendering to the page, and assign the placeholder and data source. Okay, then we went back to the GraphQL query playground. We wrote the GraphQL just to access the data source page and its data source. Then we added the the that GraphQL query to the JSON rendering. Okay, so and then we published all the changes. Okay, the last step, we created just a one the JSS component. They're like a one component, and where we will define the defining the the properties and JSS components. So let me show you so that you can see the differences, what we are doing, what we did yesterday, and what we are going to do today. So yesterday we did, let me just open that JSS component. So yesterday we wrote the uh, a component like this. Okay, so this is what the properties we defined, the types of data that our component is going to return. So these properties we are this I mean the properties we are going to define, types of properties we are going to define exactly similar like what we have in our okay, one second, let me copy that. Okay, right place. Okay, so you can see it's similar properties we are just making the structure here with the simple data fetching in GraphQL. So whatever a data type that in a playground is going to return, similar same kind of data properties we are defining here. Then we are just writing a component like constant is the component name. We are just returning this is the we call like a method a method function type. We write in a in a React.js or maybe in a next.js. We write like this to define a function or a method or a page, you can say. Okay, I mean we write this function and we are just exporting. So this is how we write. Like this is the way we write. Like this is the you can say like this is this is the function, and what kind of function it will return. This function will return, or this method will return like a JSX element. So what kind of JSX element? This is the JSX element. You have to remember always in the TypeScript, what we do, whatever variable or maybe function method we define, we have to also define the is a return type. Okay, I mean TypeScript is a type shape language. We have to define everywhere. We have to define the type of data is going to return. JavaScript normally we don't need to define the type. It automatically figure out the type. But for the JavaScript, sorry, TypeScript, we have to define. So this is the the function we wrote. The method we write, and what kind of this function is going to return. It will return the JSX element. Means JSX elements means like a HTML component. So this kind of HTML component is going to return, and later this function we are going to export it, like export default. So that it will be like a component. Okay, so this is how we wrote in the front end application. Okay, and in the Sitecore backend, what we are doing is, let me again explain you. So in a Sitecore backend, this one. In a Sitecore backend, what we did is we just created a template. Normally, maybe we don't need to create the template. Why? Because we maybe have already some data sources from where, or maybe page from where we are going to retrieve the data. Okay, so in that case, we don't need to write the we don't need to create the template. So for our case, we just created the template to, because we don't have the exact data source, so that we can fetch the data from data source. For now, I mean, we have the data source. So we created the template, and then we created the JSON rendering. Okay, JSON rendering, then JSON rendering, where we are in a rendering, I have to go, then presentation, demo site. There we created a JSON rendering like this. Okay, we define the data source location, we define the data source template. Then later, what we are defining, we define the GraphQL query. Okay, so whatever like GraphQL query we are writing there, I mean, as per the instruction, we have to define the variable and language, or maybe the context item. Okay, so we are just defining data source, a language. In an item also there is a path, so data source path will automatically fetch it from the where we are assigning this component to the page or route. Okay, and from there it will get the data like name, heading and its value, description, its value, like that. So this is the way we created and wrote the we added the the GraphQL query into the JSS component. Okay, and it worked fine. Yesterday we saw it. Okay, so the next what we are going to do is, for now, because we have already created the template, so we are not going to create the template. We'll just create a new component for it. So let's see what are the process we are going to do for it. So we'll return the same data like heading and description, because from the same data source we are going to get the data. Okay, then next we'll create the so for now what we'll do is we'll create a JSON rendering now. Oh, sorry. We'll create JSON rendering, then we'll add that just JSON rendering to the page. We'll go to the uh, GraphQL playground. We'll write the GraphQL query in the GraphQL playground. Then next, because the GraphQL query we are going to attach into the component, we'll create the component. Okay. Okay, so these are the steps we are going to do. Implementing the GraphQL through the next.js component. Okay, we'll directly fetch it through the get server side props. Server side. So what the get server side props does is it fetches the data. Server side it fetches the data. It fetches the data as per the request. Okay, as soon as we request the component, it fetches the data. So it's the per request fetching data. You can understand like this. Okay, so we are going to get the data from the server side, server side props. Okay, so let's start it. What we'll do is first of all we'll create a JSON rendering. So let me create the JSON rendering here. So now JSON rendering, what we can name it, let me name the component. The component name will be component name will be JSS GraphQL next.js. We'll write like a next.js. G must be caps. Next.js. Okay, so we'll make a component like this. Let me copy the and write it here. We'll create the JSON rendering. Creating a JSON rendering. Like whenever we are creating a JSON rendering, we have to take care of few things. First of all, we have to make sure this component name should be exactly same name the component we are going to create here. So what I'll do, as soon as I create the JSON rendering here, the same name component I should create. So let me just create dot tsx. Okay, so I create one component here. So let's first complete the Sitecore side. So name, it's fine. Now I'll come down here. We can define the parameter template, but for now we don't have any use of parameter template. So we have to define the data source location. Dot slash this forward slash is enough to point to the current the website location. Next we have to define the template. So we'll use the same template we created yesterday. Let me define that template. So we'll use the same template like JSS GraphQL rendering. And I save it. Okay. Let me publish the application as well. Hide. Okay, so it is published. Now The next step is, let me see, the next step, we have assigned the JSON rendering to the page and assigned placeholder and data source. Okay. So we created the component. So JSON rendering is a component. You can, it's a component. So we have to assign to the page. So let me go to the page. So this is the headless site tenant demo site. Inside it, we created a site name like JSS XM Cloud. Okay, this is the headless site or application, we can say. In it, we have the page name home, we have the page name about. So yesterday we worked on the about, so let's work on the about page only. Or maybe we can create a new page directly like this. Okay, we can name it like contact. Save it. I'll go to the presentation details. I'll go to the final layout for now. Controls, add. Then I'll see what the new rendering, JSON rendering component I added. I added JSS, GraphQL next.js. Okay. So for now, we'll place it into the headless main, and now the browser, sorry, we'll assign the data source. So to data source, let's create a new, or maybe we can use the existing one. So we have to create a new one. Let me create new. Data. I'll name like this. So our data source is created. Let me save it. Okay. And I have to publish this. Okay. First, let's save and refresh and see. When I go, this is the, the page contact we created. Inside it, when we are creating a data source, so it will create like a data. Then inside the data, this data source will come like this. Okay, so here we have to define something. So contact us. Okay. GraphQL next.js. Okay. Now in a description, we can copy something. Let me copy anything. I save it and let me publish. So because we created a home page, a new one, so I'll publish this one. Publish atom. Then it must publish the sub atom, and let's also select the related atoms. Okay. And okay, because our application is not running, so we have to run our application. Okay, so let me try to run this. I run like JSS start connected. and we can start the page localhost 3000. Okay, so let me go back to the step what up to where we are. So now we added the JSON reading to the page. Okay, we assign the placeholder and data source. Okay, we are done with these steps. Now we have to write the GraphQL query. So I mean we are going to use the same GraphQL query. Okay, so for that what we are going to do is, I mean yesterday we wrote like this, right? I mean this is the GraphQL query, and for today, I mean if I show you, if I select this, contact, if a contact page, let me access this contact page. I can query it through the item ID. Let me copy it. Okay, sorry. Okay. I'll just change. So this is the way we query, like query, then item path, item, then path. Maybe we can define, we can put the path or maybe ID. It will work for both. Then name. Okay, this is the way, like name. Then let me remove it. So we can query for now. Let's see. So our item name is coming here. We can also get parent. So what the parent name is. So we are not able to get the parent. Let me say the ID. We are able to find the ID. Okay, similarly we can query more, like a field, name, and value. So now we are getting the query value of I mean the data of home, sorry, the contact page. Like we are able to access its fields, field name like a title, its value is contact. Then navigation, title, field name, its value is contact, like that. Okay, you can see. The next what we have to do is we have to access this data source. So what we can do is, let me now give the path name. Okay, and let's access it. So you can see this is it. The value, the field, we have heading, we have description, and in the heading we have this content. In description we have this content. So when I'm querying it here, so you can see this is the way. This is the result we are going to get. But yesterday we see, I mean, we have to filter it out the way we want in our component. Okay, so we have to a little bit filter it out so that it can fit into our requirement or fit into our the property we are going to make. Okay, so for that what we'll do is we'll just make it like this. Okay, so for this what we have to do is, let me remove. So we're supposed to return the this data source name. Okay, then the field name, heading, and its value. So how we are going to extract is, let me write heading, then field, field, then what we'll do is, let me copy this and write into it. And what we are going to find is its value. Okay, like this. Let me copy it again. So now it will be description. Then this one should be also description. Okay, so now what will be the order? What the data we are going to get is this name, then heading, its value will get, then description and its value we are going to get. Okay, let me hit. So you can see the data, item name, heading, and its value, description, and its value we are getting. Okay, so now this query is usable for us. Okay, so this query and this header, HTTP header, this API key. Okay, so like API key from where we are going to get API key. Generally, we have in a setting. If I go here in a system setting, then services. Okay, then I have API key. So you can use any of the API key. Okay, and this the rendering host. I mean, whatever the front end application we make, the similar app name or rendering host name we have to define here. Okay, for our case, this is our rendering host. This is our rendering host, our application name. There we are defining this, the server rendering endpoint URL and this the public URL or server side engine public URL. Okay, and the application name, the front end application name. So this we have to define. Okay, I mean when we set up the the JSS projects, then we find this we have to define, or maybe this is the default one, but when we are going to deploy into the external server our front end application, then we have to change these values, this server side, this URL, JSS name will be the same. Okay, but these two things we have to change. Okay, for now it's the localhost. Maybe there will be the website name or application name with a proper domain. Okay, so from here we took the API key and as a header, so that we have to define. In terms of XM Cloud, when we are fetching the data from experience edge, so when you are working on a XM Cloud portal, so this is we are working on a Sitecore XP. In the XP, this is how the headless service works, and the playground from where we are going to query this way. Okay, in terms of XM Cloud, the query will be the same, but this HTTP header will be changed. There we have to pass GQL token. We name it like a GQL token, and okay, and this will be the SS API key. Okay, so there is a SS API key we get in the XM Cloud portal, from where we have to copy and we have to name it like a GQL token. Okay, and the query will work similar like we are running now. Okay, so there is no difference in the playground. Only difference is we have to like this HTTP header we have to change. Okay, so there'll be like a parameter GQL token. There we have to that that SSAPI key we have to give here. Okay. So next thing is we are done with creating the GraphQL query, so we have to just copy it. Okay, so we have to copy it and we have to go back to our application. Okay, their application we have to just make it the way. So first of all we have to write that component. Okay, so what I do is let me just copy the that same component I created. and I'll just show you like how we are doing that. Okay. Normally, when you run the project, you will get the, unable to verify the leaf signature. So, I mean, the next.js normally asks us, whatever like, domain name we are running, that should be, uh, a secure and authorized by the proper certificates, authorized certificates, signature certificates. Okay. Means you must have a, whatever domain you must have a, HTTPS secured kind of thing. So for the local development, what we do is we just disable the security by just executing this just command. Let me start again with the JSS start connected. So we'll now let me show you like what we are going to do is first of all we have to write the server side get server side component props like this. Okay. We have to write the server side component like this. Okay. So what we are doing, what we are doing here is, if you see, we are doing get exports. I mean, it's a simple method. You can see we can name it with any method. So I mean, uh, like a similar get server side probes. I mean, it will be asynchronous cross because we are fetching the data from API. Okay, so what kind of API is a GraphQL client API? Okay, so how we are defining, let's just explain you. So this is just a method or function you can understand. It's an async method. We are just using a lambda function, the function method to write the function. Okay, it's an async function. So next what we are doing is we are just defining the GraphQL endpoint. So where this GraphQL endpoint is coming from, so you can see process.env.graphql. Okay, so we have in an environment we have defined the GraphQL endpoint. Okay, so if you see, this is our environment file .env.local. So where we are defining the GraphQL endpoint. So this is the GraphQL endpoint from where it's taking the data. Okay. Now we are just initializing the GraphQL client. Okay. We are initializing the GraphQL client by constant GraphQL client, new GraphQL client. Then we are passing the endpoint. So for our case, endpoint is the this one the GraphQL endpoint. The GraphQL this one this is our this must be our endpoint. So from where we are going to fetch the data. So this one will be the endpoint, like Sitecore API graph.age. Okay, so this is the endpoint. Next, so in a GraphQL endpoint, we are passing that GraphQL endpoint. Okay, next, in a GraphQL, we are setting a header. So GraphQL.set header SS API key, then process.sitecore SS API key as a string. Sitecore API key. Okay, so the Sitecore API key, if you can see, um, let me show you in a, there in an environment file, we are defining the API key there. Okay, so similar API key, same API key, we are fetching it here, like process.env, then Sitecore API key as a string. Okay, so from this line, we are just setting a header. Okay, so What is this header is, if I show you in a playground, so there we are setting a header. If I remove, I'll not able to get the data. So with this query, this header is SC API key header is important. Okay. Next, we are just writing our query, this query. So I'll just copy it. Okay. I already have written there. I have to just path up this path. Okay. So in your case, you can just copy and you can just replace it because it's the same. One second. Okay. No. This is there. This one. Okay. So this is the same query we are writing on the GraphQL. So this is how we write. So you have to write with the proper format like this. Okay. Then after that, we are passing that to the that query to the GraphQL client, like because it's asynchronous. So like we'll await that one. Okay, it's a asynchronous programming or script. So we'll await that, like await GraphQL dot request, then query. We are passing the query object here. Then after that, we are getting the data. Okay. Next, whatever like the data we are going to get, that we have to return like a props. So I mean, in the next.js component, we are able to assign the data into the the component when we are you know when we are passing that like a props. Okay, so any data, I mean, that's going to return from our function, that we have to make like a props, so that we can assign it into the our JSX component. So we are just writing a simple component, okay, like this. Okay, like you can write like this, or maybe we can write like a JSX then. And so this is the another way of writing the like a norm. We were writing and simple next.js, like a the constant, then this it will be the now it's a demo, but no, the component name, our component name is changed. So let me write the component name here like this. Oh shit. So this is our component name. So same thing, we supposed to export it. So we passed this returning from this method as a props. So this props we are going to pass it here. So for this we are not defining, I mean, we are not defining any properties for it. So I mean, it depends like how you are going to write the component, right? I mean, how you are going to design your component, so that when you define the the properties here, so it looks easy for you to where from where, I mean, data we are going to get. But if you have no if you are you're not comfortable with the defining the properties, so you can just whatever you are getting the data from the that uh, that the that await function, or maybe from the GraphQL, so that you can directly pass on the props, and that props data you can just directly pass here. And you can because in a type script, anything we have to define the type, so that props for now will define the any. Okay, and we can write like this. Okay, so for now, because we are you know we have to render the what kind of data we are rendering. We are rendering the heading and description. So let me set like a, it will be a heading, it will be a description, it will be the name. Oh shit. It will be the name like this. Okay. And what we are going to import here, so you have to see import what we are importing. Let me show you so that you can understand it. Get server side components from this and this GraphQL. So these are the imports uh, we are we are writing as an import. Then we have to also add the React. Okay. Then we have this JSX component, and this is our method from where we are extracting the data from the GraphQL query and its endpoints. Okay. So let's just try to see the output. In our case, if the output is working or not. Because we have created the new page. So let me quickly just check the page. So the page is contact us. So we'll write like this now, /contact. So we can see the data is coming. So our heading is coming like this. This is the heading. And it should not come like this. Maybe some styling we have to remove from the, this text. That some styling is coming, so we have to remove it. If I show you there, it's first of all it's adding the style. I can just remove and save it. Okay, I have to publish it. Let me publish. It's just a one item, so I'll not select these two options. I'll just select the smart publish. Let's just refresh it. Okay, so this, it is our heading. This is our description. Okay, so okay, it must be p tag. So this one will be the, this item name. So it should not be a field. So let's see the result. Okay. Are we returning the name here? Yes, we are returning the name. How it's coming, the data field function. Okay, name is not returning here. Heading. description, it will be like a heading. We can console it and we can see. So anything you maybe you are not able to get, you can just console it. So it will show the result in the console. And okay, so let me save it, and we can see the console data here, how the data is returning. Let me just refresh the page. So let's see how it's returning. So it's returning like this name, this one, then heading, this, then heading its value, then name, and this, like this. Okay. Okay, so we can define it like maybe props, then item, then name. Okay, so you see it's giving us the error. So let's see, item, then heading, then this. Let's see, instead of giving item, let's see the field. No. Props, then okay, so we are able to retrieve the data like heading and description. Okay, and this one we are not able to retrieve. So I mean, for this we can see the name. Hold for a second. Okay, so you can see we are able to get the data. So this one we have to see. So maybe we can see it later, but for now, I mean, we are able to get the both fields data. Okay. So do you have any question on it? Or it looks I mean, when you will practice with this, once in your side, you will able to get it. I mean, okay. So, I mean, you understood the process like how we are doing, right?
Yes, Prem.
Okay. So
Yes.
yesterday we supposed to apply the, in one of our component, the styling. So we'll show that styling so that you can see. I mean, we were, let's see the styling. Okay, no, it was this one. Okay, so how we should apply the style. So last time I also told you. So what we can do, maybe you can just create a new CSS file like this. Um, Let me for now demo style dot css. Okay, you can just let me just copy the same style like a background color. So in a next.js, we have a functionality. We can, create a CSS file. We can add a CSS class, and we can add this class into the component directly. Maybe if you want is like a dynamically we can add and remove. So what we can do is we can add this CSS in the Sitecore. From there, we'll go to the to the experience reader and we'll add the class. Okay, but if you want to, if we don't want like that, if the component is specific for the any functionality, we can directly just copy like this. Okay, and first of all, I mean, we have to add this CSS file into the app root. So let me just show you. So there we have to add like this, import asset, then we have this one, paste it. Okay, we add it into the app root, and now we will able to we will able to access this, the CSS style into the component. So let me just copy it, and I can apply it to the any of the component. Let me apply there as well. So in a div, the class, I can write a class name. I can just define the class. Let me save it. Let's see the result. Okay. Okay. Maybe we are not defining it in the correct way. So you can see it's giving us the error like, this one demo style should be closed, I think. Module is not found, cannot resolve this one. Okay, let's see. Let me go back to the app.tsx. Okay, so maybe we have to give a proper path. First of all, let me see. Let's see. I just saved it and refresh it again. So, I mean, we have to give a proper path like this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll come here and let me see. Okay, sorry. This asset name is not correct. So I thought, I mean, we have to give a path. So this asset, then demo style, and this. Okay, I mean, we have to always take care, the proper naming convention and the proper path. Okay, for our case, it we will able to access because it's in the same place already. I mean, it was imported like asset then main SCSS. We can also do like asset then demo style.css. Okay, let's just save it. Let me refresh this. Okay, so you can see the background is coming like this. Okay, so do you have any question on the GraphQL part?
No. No.
Okay, so tomorrow we'll see the how we can create multilingual data, how we can render the multilingual data. So you can see there is this one, this I18N provider. So this is responsible for I mean to render the multilingual content. Okay, so we'll see that tomorrow. We'll try to configure, and we'll see the result if we are able to fetch the content from the from the page as a multilingual data. Okay, so maybe we will register 2-3 version of the language of the item, and we'll just try to fetch it from the Sitecore to the component. Okay. So so what I'll do is I'll just share you this code as well as the video link so that you can practice in your side. Okay, and let me know like if anything maybe we are missing, so we can cover it. I mean, by this week we'll try to end the session, and maybe this week or maybe the next week I'll take your session. One a quiz session. So the I mean quiz. Is quiz assessment. So that will also give you I mean the knowledge about the JSS and XM cloud. Okay, so there'll be a multi-choice question so that I can release your your some kind of like you attended that the training so that you have something to show. Okay.
Okay, Prem.
Yeah. Okay then. If you have any question, you can directly drop me on the message on my WhatsApp, or maybe there we have a a separate chat platform. So you can I mean post there if you are I mean facing any issue, maybe while configuring or maybe while fetching the data into the component. Okay. Okay then. So we are going to wrap up for today. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Prem. Bye.
Hey, bye.
Bye.